in a moment. We did our expense here. We did our income here, right? And we had a whole list. And then most of you, you only have a salary as your income, right? Then we had a whole list here that I'm not going to really repeat, okay? Then we saw that it was not balancing. This side was now left in the minus, right? Is that correct? After we saw all of our expenses, we now saw, okay, our salaries, the income, which is most of you here, you depend on an income. Then we saw it does not work. Now, here, I also explained and we saw there was never tithe here. There was never partnership here. And that's actually the main reason why you people are not tithing and partnering. Because you are failing to do this. You do not understand what is important and what is essential. What is best and what is good. I did not even say good and bad. There is nothing bad at this point. But on those things that are good, you still need to pick that which is what? Best. And cut the other ones. So, with us, I mean, with all of this, I'll put them in a small box. Okay? Like that. I'll use here. Okay? For it to balance, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, now I'm going to teach you this is a practical way. First of all, we have to understand how God prospers his people. Don't want to shortcut there. How God prospers is what? His people. You write full sentence there. How God prospers his people. Okay? The element of giving. What is being given? I'm not going to teach giving in this house. No. Tithe. Partnership. Don't know if I have space. Okay? Offerings. Okay? That's one element. All of this, they manifest our faith in God. All of this, they what? They manifest our faith in God. Now, I have to do this on top of my budget. I'm not going to prioritize anything above this. There, I even want you, because some of you never do that. I will instruct you to do it. I want you to calculate your transport of coming to church. You do your budget, right? And calculate. Remember, yesterday on our expenses, there was a transport. That which you have to, it's either pour petrol or take a taxi, go to work, isn't it? You budget it. None of you has ever missed going to work and then next week go to work and tell your boss that, you see, on Monday and Tuesday I couldn't come because I was not having transport. Who has ever done that? Have you ever heard about it, Pastor? they make sure that when it comes to the transport of going to work, it's there. But church, they'll tell you that I don't have money. They'll tell you straight, I don't have money. What do you want me to do? I don't have money to come to church. So, this budget, it speaks of your faith in God. It's something you have to sit down. To them that are married, to them that are staying with whosoever, or you are, you are staying alone, sit down and calculate it and say, when it comes to our giving, this is how we do it, and this is our budget, and we will never miss a service because it says we didn't have fuel or we didn't have money to go to church. It never will it happen after I've taught you tonight. So it manifests your faith in God. Now, when you have understood this, right? When you have understood this, we now go to the book of Deuteronomy. What verse do I want? Not 18. No. Let me double check. Is it chapter number 18? No, not 8. Hey. Now, 28. I always confuse them because I read them too much. Chapter 8, chapter 18, then 28. Okay? So we have 28. Give me verse number 12. What does it say?
The Lord will open to you his good treasure, the heaven, to give the rain unto thy land in his season, and to bless all the work of thine hand. And thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow.
So a lot of things are spoken in that verse. Okay? Now, put it back. So, when the Lord opened good treasure, right? This is on God. He opens good treasure, and what does he do? He makes rain to come. In its season. Right? And what does he do again? He then goes on to bless the work of your hands. And after he has blessed the work of your hands, what happens? You shall lend. Then you shall not borrow. Take it out. Deuteronomy 28, verse number 12. The Lord opens good treasures. He makes rain to come in its season. Then, after he has done these two, it does not take away the fact that one still needs to work, Pastor Elton. That's where we have a problem there. The enemy, what he has done, what was revealed to me, is that the enemy is fighting you in a very strategic manner that your hands, they even fail to do something. Because he knows that the God you worship, his system is to bless the work of your hands. The moment you begin to do something, God will surely bless it. So he will fight it that you will not have something to actually do with your own hands. So watch this. When Joseph entered in the house of Potiphar, and he was made a manager. Why? Because in a short period of time, it does not mean Potiphar was not having other servants. But in a short period of time, the hands of Joseph were so blessed that each and everything that he was touching in the house, Potiphar could see that this hand is blessed. And he saw a need and he said, let me elevate this man so that he will begin to manage everything in this house. Because everything that he is touching is being blessed. Praise the name of the living God. Now, you not having anything to do is what is the problem. Now, immediately, let's say if I'm to open question and answer, you will now begin to hear, Papa, me, I tried this. It did not work. Me, I tried. Why did not God bless what I was doing? Me, I tried this. I'll get there. The Lord blesses the work of your hands, but now, here is a problem. What do you have that you touch with your hands? Because on this minus salary, because of these expenses, we need another extra income here. But how else is it going to come if you are not going to use your hands and work? Now, to answer somebody who says, I tried A, B, C, D, number one, you tried it, but you did not use the right strategy. And you did not put maximum effort. Write those two things down because they are very important. You did not use the right strategy, and you did not put the maximum effort. If we begin to talk of business, some say business. No one can start a business and within a short period of time, you tell me I'm now a millionaire. It does not work. Then I'll tell you it was never legit. You want to become a millionaire overnight. All millionaires that you know, even the billionaires that you know, go deeper in their history, background, you will find out that at one point in time, some, they even were selling tomatoes. It's an expression of they started from somewhere. Your problem is you gave up too quickly because you thought it was not working. That's what you thought. Because you had not made profit in the first, second, third, fourth month, and then you thought, hey, why will I, for what now? Back to the history of, let's say, a supermarket like ShopRite. I don't know how, you tell me. You know, wake up one morning and then they were that big. They started from somewhere, right? So I don't want to turn it again into a business seminar where I now begin to teach you what is really your vision. How do you stick to your vision? How do you work your vision? How do you? Because for all of you to be sitting here right now, listening to me teaching, we never knew each other 10 years ago, right? But if I can tell you that 10 years ago, I was in a flat in a house preaching. And those preachings resulted to what you see now. I could have said, Pastor Elton, it's not working. The company, that is if you are going to, like, you know, a company that you're working for. The company that you're working for, it did not become that kind of a company with such position that you occupy overnight. Let me go back to my point. The Lord opens good treasures. But the good treasure is not just going to come to the hands that are doing nothing. The rain that God is bringing is not coming to the hands that are doing nothing. The treasure and the rain, they are coming to those hands that are working. I was telling and asking other people to say, when you see a prostitute, she stands on the roadside selling her body. Huh? In other words, she's trying to say, on all things that one can sell, I have failed to sell all of them. The only thing I have to sell is my body. Here am I. Then you will ask Ikibukai, they will tell you 50 rand. Something that your uncles have to come and negotiate for cows. And you just stand there and say, 50. No, I know the price. I don't know if the price went up. I asked. we were having a crusade in Parde. I don't know which year it was. And then we were coming from here, driving down the road. I think there are some girls that stand somewhere down there. Somewhere in East. You even know. Listen. So now, I wide my window down. I said to the prodigal guys I was sitting with in the car, I said, hey, let me. So she saw Mercedes Benz, hey, customer. Wind my window down. I'm sitting at the back. And I said, Sisi, Kibukai. She's standing there and says, 50. I said, ah. Anyway, your uncles, your aunties, your whole family, they sit down to charge when you are being married. And you are marrying yourself, you just stand on the corner and say, 50. Nonsense. But anyway, watch the mindset of a what? Of a prostitute. A prostitute is saying, I have, even if they have not tried what I'm about to suggest, right? But a prostitute is saying, I tried to sell tomatoes, onions, carrots, cabbage. Everything was not working. The only thing that is working is to sell my body. You can tell that that's a myopic, microscopic, myopic mentality. They can't think. So in all your endeavors, you couldn't find something to sell at a certain profit to an extent that you begin to sell. I'm just giving you an example. In other words, I want you to begin to think. Because if you are telling me right now that you have nothing to sell so that you can make a profit, then I have a bigger problem than what I thought. Right now, as a prophet, I'm actually afraid now. I have a bigger problem than I thought. So in all the things that people are selling, that you can even come up with, services you can sell, you have failed to find one service. On top of this, you have failed to find another service to sell or something to sell. Ladies and gentlemen, business is not difficult. You know what is called business? Business is buying and selling. Men, we have another entrepreneurship program 21, right? You are now able to define to differentiate business and entrepreneurship, right? I'm not talking of entrepreneurship. I said business. Entrepreneurship is even harder. There are people who stand here and say, I'm an entrepreneur. Do you know what is called an entrepreneur? Talk business. Yeah. Not entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship needs someone with bigger brains. You are initiating something that has not been done before. But business, buying and selling, you are telling me that as you are sitting right here, right now, you have nothing that you can think of in your head. You have no service you can offer. Just so as to increase your income and match your expenditure. That's where I will pause there and make you to begin to think. Remember, faith without works, it is dead. James chapter number 2. Faith without what? It is what? So, you can't tell me I have faith. I have faith. And there is no work you are doing. So once again, I was talking to my brother. He has a herd of cattle. And you know, I like his idea. He says, I just keep them, it's my bank. Any moment I want money, I just go and say that I slaughter or I sell. But he then went on to say, there is a number I want to reach. And that number, when I reach it, I want to begin to dispose them. And with all I'm doing, I know my child is about to go to the university. So I just want to pay for the whole bill of my child's school fees in the university. I liked his foresight, because a lot of you begin now to run around when the child is now saying, I've finished my grade 12, I've passed. It is like a parent, you're wishing that your child do not pass. So you had no plan whatsoever to make sure that as my child grows, then I'm going to. It's not something good, but then listen to me. I just have to say something because I made something good out of it. Our government, when it began to be bad, we were no longer having privileges of scholarships, especially at a university level. So, and then our economy was no longer allowing a lot of people to go to the bank to buy whether cars or houses. So you will find that over 95% of people who live in Zimbabwe, they don't have things like mortgage or bond. No. They own the house. It's either they built it themselves or they bought it themselves. Because the system was not even allowing. But now, this is the negative side of the economy. The positive side is that it has actually trained us not to be borrowers. You just know that, when I want to buy a car, I have to work and put the money together and go buy the car cash. And then because of how you work and how the money comes, you will now determine how long the car will take for it to come, or you will now cut it short and say, I'm going to buy a second hand, I'm not going to buy a new one. Which is the same spirit that personally I have carried, to an extent that you continue to work to such an extent that you minimize the issue of borrowing. There are only one or two conditions I'll teach you. I'm not sure if it's going to be tonight, where I will allow you to borrow. For instance, when the prophet said to the woman, go and borrow empty vessels, containers. It was an instruction. Or you just go and borrow. No one instructed you. And check, some of these people, when they borrow, they actually borrow so that they will just have money to eat. How can you go and borrow to buy clothes? Honestly. Can you see that something is wrong with your head? You go to the bank, you borrow money to go to holiday. So, lift up your hands if you can. You did not hear what I said. I said lift up your hands. Now you see. Now, as you are lifting up your hands like that, can I ask you a question? What are your hands touching? What are these hands touching? Are they touching anything? No, you're not understanding my question. In other words, what are you doing? What are your hands touching? Do you have anything that can be called the work of your hands? Is there anything that God must bless there? What projects are you running with your hands? Because we will continue, ladies and gentlemen, to stand in queues and prayer up until prayer and up until you now say, I berek. It's not I berek. What are you? It's clear. Scripture says, I bless, I'm the Lord your God. I open good treasures, make rain to come. Bless the work of your hands. And this is how he's going to take you out of debts. After I have blessed the work of your hands, you shall be lenders, not borrowers. So when he says, you shall not borrow, I take it as a command. So you'll ask somebody, do you have a company? No. Yeah, lift up your hands. You are tired. You are already tired. Do you have a company? No. Are you buying and selling something? No. So what are you touching with your hands? Then you come and be like, I know, Major, pray, financial breakthrough, Major. So my prayer now is that those hands must find something to touch. I think, okay, put them down. I think 2 days in a financial summit is not enough. Because I'm beginning to see things. Because right now, a lot of you'll be like, but Papa, me, I'm touching. Okay, all right, listen to me. Some of you have even prophesied. You are actually touching the wrong thing. But you still go ahead to touch it. But I told you, you are touching the wrong thing. Some of you have fear. Fear. You don't want to do new things. You are afraid. Some of you, you are ignorant, which has resulted in you being, it's deep, but anyway, foolish. Because an ignorant person, you don't know anything. You know nothing. And how your foolishness is being made manifest. When we say we are having a business seminar, I've called in people who know what they are doing. They are coming to teach us how to start a business, how to do something, you don't come. When I say there is a prayer line, you come. What is your prayer request? Finances. But last week I was doing a business seminar. You did not come. It was a waste of time. Now I've called in prayer line. You have come. If I was a person who does not cast out devils, then I was going to receive criticism to say, you see these guys, they don't have power. They don't have power. They have powder. No. Right now, if you want me to heal someone or cast out a devil now or prophesy now, I don't need to go and say, no, it's something simple. I can do it nicely with no struggle. With no struggle at all. Yes. But again, I don't just want you to be so spiritual and forget that you still need to buy bread. You are so spiritual that you even enter in Pick and Pay, you'll be like, Rodobo Shada. You will take 3 loaves like this. Radomo Shadia Balahaza. You're not going to the till. You are actually going exit. Yabaya kadega. No, listen. That is called stealing. That's not a miracle. That is called stealing. You are now stealing. Are we together? This is not faith. You are stealing. You're a thief. Remember those ladies that used to steal? They used to come to the office and buy anointing oil to anoint themselves so that they will not get caught. And enter in those shops and begin to steal clothes. Hey. I said, stop giving them my anointing. How do you anointing oil prayed for by a prophet, not a sangoma, a prophet? You use anointing oil. But anyway, let me actually, I'm not commending, but I just want to comment their faith. You, the rightful owner who is supposed to use, you use it and then you sit in your house. They use it and they go and steal. And you are supposed to use it and then you go and be like, today as I sell, I will make money. But they are using it to go and steal. The reason why they kept on, Pastor, it happened for a long time. Up until I was told that, Papa, these women, they are taking anointing oil to anoint themselves to go and steal in shops. But you do you have faith? Let's put your faith to work. Are we together? Are we together? Now, the next step we were supposed to go, we were now supposed to go in the book of Exodus. Now, the book of Exodus, I can't touch that. It teaches us that in the land of Egypt, when money failed, ladies and gentlemen, money failed. So, from here, we are now going to talk in investments. If you don't want money to fail, then we have to talk investments. But anyway, let's not jump the gun. We'll talk. That's why I said Financial Summit needs us because it's a subject that's very practical. And everyone is trying to make $1 out of a 50 cents, right? Remember that song that we used to sing? Try to make $1 out of 15 cents. So out of a 15 cents, somebody's trying to make $1. The problem is, Christians, you have not understood that the God we worship is a God of profit. Jesus gives a parable. He says, there is a king who went to a land very far away and he left his servants with the talents. 2, it was what? 1, 2, 5. And these talents, they were given according to their own ability. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm one person who is very persistent when it comes to life. Give me a 3,000 right now and come back and check me after a week or two. That 3,000, I would have multiplied it at least 2 times. That's the kind of a person I am. Your problem is, right now, you want 100,000. Says, the business, 100,000, it will work. Now, when we can give you 5,000 now, what will you do? It's too little. It's too little. Okay, fine. I'll give you 10. What can you do with the 10,000? I promise you I can do 10,000 things with 10,000. I'm telling you. I'll do 10,000 things with 10,000. My sons that I walk around with, they always ask me, every pocket has got money. What's wrong with you? Where does that money come from? Of late, I had, was it what, 6,000?
Yes.
That 6,000, I did not. I think it came few hours. I don't know what happened. Then at night, I forgot where that money came from. So I didn't know which account to put it. So I ended up saying, you know what, just keep it. I'm sure there's going to be one account that will not balance. Two weeks ago, I was holding over 3,000 or over 4,000. Was it 4,000? 4,000 US dollars. And I'm wondering, what are my people thinking when it comes to life and business? Yes, I'm still a small player. The thousands that I'm making in a week, in a fortnight, and in a month, in places where other people are actually struggling and where they are saying, you can't make money in such a place. So how is it possible that I still have people that are struggling? Now don't lift up your hands. Look at your hands. These hands that you are looking at right now, are you telling me that they cannot look for, you cannot look for something that these hands can touch? And begin to say, now, I'm going to rub my board and I'm going to tell you of a testimony. Come. Rub the board. I want to tell you of a testimony. There's a church, I'll mention it by name because I respect the man of God. I love the man of God. And it's a church that I'm proud of that also started from Zimbabwe and it's all over the world right now. All right? So, you're done? Now, there's a church. Right. There's a church called, you people, you know it internationally as FIF. Forward in Faith. In Zimbabwe, we know it as Zayoja. The servant of God there is Apostle Ezekiel Handina Wangu Guti. Right now, he is supposed to be 90 what? 96, 97 years? 97 years. Correct me if I'm wrong, okay? The man is now 97 years this year. All right? The ministry, this church, is now over 60 years. It's in over, if I'm not mistaken, 58 countries. This church. 58 countries. A ministry that started in a place called Highfields. Highfields, kwatinoti kufio. That's where this ministry, it's a high density place where this ministry started. He's a house in Highfields where the ministry started. They have actually turned the house to become a prayer, monument. Where the furniture, when he started the ministry, it's still there. And with his age, you can tell that it was also those days of war. The bullets that once entered the walls of his house, he did not plaster them. They are still there. And people, they go to just pray there. Not just pastors from forward, even pastors from other churches, they go and just pray and, ask God for grace, whether for ministry or for whatever. They go and pray. But let me tell you what this ministry did for them to be very successful. He once was in a church called AFM, Zimbabwe. So I'm sure you know AFM South Africa, isn't it? Now, right now, it does not take time. Anywhere, Zayoja, in Zimbabwe in particular, right now in South Africa, their headquarters is in Olifants. They bought land, they bought a building very huge, very beautiful. I've been there several times. And they are just a prospering church. Now, any time that they get land, it does not take time for them to build a church. It doesn't take time for them to build a church. They don't really put things like tents and what. They can put a shed for a couple of months, and after the shed, they quickly build a church. All of their satellites. What has made them to do like this? What the man of God did long time ago, okay? He saw that where Zimbabwe is going, people need to work with their own hands. So what he did now is that he said, he introduced something that is called talents. Okay? Talents were monies that you were giving in church based on a small project that you would have started. You understand? So you would say, everyone who is working, you're not working. No. Go and find something or anything to sell. The profit of it, you are going to bring it. I'm not sure because I had friends who were going to that church. So I'm not sure for how many months that they would do that. They would say the profits of that business, they come to church. You start a business, and the profits of the business, they come to church. For how long? For 12 months. Then after 12 months, that business becomes yours. So now you will get a lot of pastors that come from Forward in Faith Ministries. You get a lot of pastors. They're not just pastors. They are pastors and they do business. You will go to Forward in Faith. 3/4 of the people that attend Forward in Faith, no matter they are working, all of them, they have got businesses that they do. Because they've been taught to start a business. The way they were taught, the business that you are starting is not yours. You are starting a business for the work of God. It belongs to God. It's not yours. So you will work it, and the profits you bring them in the house of God for 24 months? 12. Right. So, like, we started a new year. From January, you'll be working. December, you bring all the proceeds of that business to the church. Now, this church, that's why I'm saying, right now, it's in over, I don't know how many countries. Last time when I checked, it was over 58. Last year, when my brother to my wife, he is also a pastor in this church in Houston, Texas, in America. He came last year, and then we were at Amphik, their headquarters here in South Africa, in Olifants. And he was telling me that he was actually with the man of God. At 96, 97 years, he is still jogging. Every morning, he runs 3 kilometers. He exercises. He doesn't eat what you people eat. All right? He's still exercising. He's doing everything. All right? Now, he was now telling and saying, I am an evangelist. Okay? I'm no longer going to concentrate on the admin of the church. When God comes to take me, he has to take me whilst I am doing what I started doing years ago. He is one man who can enter in a country where he is not known. He does not know anyone. He books himself in a hotel. He goes and eats in a restaurant. The one who is serving him, he begins to preach to him. When he preaches to that person, you say, can I please start a cell group in your house? He starts a cell group. He gathers 50 people. He calls Zimbabwe, where the head office is. And he says, let's say for instance, in Cyprus, there are already 50 people here. I need a pastor. Then the pastor arrives, he moves, he goes to another place. As old as he is, he's still preaching. He's still doing personal witnessing. We are Christians and we are smart. We only come to church and sit and go back home. And yet we are Christians and we are supposed to be preaching and teaching. I mean, not really teaching, but preaching the gospel and witnessing Jesus Christ to people. But we don't do that. But anyway, I don't want to turn again into something else. I think today I've taken too much time. Let's end here. Talents as a result of work of your hands. And the church became prosperous. The people became prosperous, rich. I'm talking of a church that it doesn't matter whether it's in the high density, low density, medium density, as long as they've gotten a what? A stand, they will not take time to build. This church, Forward in Faith, in Zimbabwe, they have university. They have a hospital. What else? They have a lot of orphanages. What else? They have also a mountain. They have schools as well. They have, apart from orphanages, schools, hospital, university, mountain, they have a TV channel. The TV channel is called Ezekiel TV. They have what else? And it's in all of these things, it's a ministry that is 60 years old. I chose to use their example because it goes hand in hand with what I am teaching you tonight. So once again, look at those hands. Because there are people here that are like, I can't give my offering. I can't give my tithe. I can't give this. I can't. No, they went past the issue of giving tithes and offering. They were giving talents. Pastor Elton, people of Zayoja, they don't struggle even when it comes to the economy of Zimbabwe. They will always look for something to buy and sell and do business because that's what they've been trained to do. As you look into those hands, you can't tell me, ladies and gentlemen, that